Sorry about that. I got a call from a Connecticut Claim Center, and I'm not sure what that was all about, but I'll figure it out later on. But anyway, then we went up to Boston, and I met a girl there. Me and her had sex, and she was like the fourth, and she was part of the USO and stuff like that in Boston, and she was a little bit heavy set, but had a pretty face, and she had blue or green eyes and red hair, and again, like I told you before, when I started going out to the Christian Fellowship Church in Waukegan, I did have a weird dream in A school about a thin girl with red hair trying to force me to have sex with her, and stuff like that. And I might have mentioned it to Pastor Rand, but other than that, I didn't really focus on it. And I also had a dream of Pastor Davis casting a demon out of my sister and stuff like that, but it was just a little dream. Whereas when I was trying, I couldn't and stuff like that. But again, it's just a dream. It's just a dream. And, Pastor Davis, Pastor Rand said it was like when Jesus was the disciples were trying to cast out the evil spirit and couldn't, but Jesus could. It had to do with prayer and fasting and stuff like that. Right. Well, anyway, after that, that's why I was with the girl in Boston, because she was a little bit, didn't quite fit the dream, was pretty in the face, even though big. And she was maybe like anywhere from 175 to maybe, 200 pounds, something like that. I'm not sure. I didn't really, ask her weight, because that's inappropriate. I just liked her, and she seemed to like me, and we seemed to hit it off, and she went to her house, and then we went to a little ways from the base, and she took me out to a Chinese dinner and stuff like that. And then we went to her house, and then we went we made out under the bleachers, and she showed me how to blow in someone's ear, not lick it or do what's called a wet willy. And she taught me an interesting lovemaking technique. Instead of just kissing or stuff like that, or slobbering or getting spit in the ear, just blow. Now what you do there is you blow in the ear gently, and it creates a tingling sensation all through your body, and you feel like sort of an euphoria. And when you do that, it feels good. Well, she showed me how to do that, and I did it with her a little bit, and then we went to the van, and she took me to a little secluded area, sort of off near a power plant or something like that. I forget the actual location, but it was near the base, but no one bothered us, so we were in the van, and we had sex in the back of the van. And anyway, we started making love and stuff like that, and it was a long love-making session, maybe 30 minutes to an hour, 45 minutes, something like that. And I think we came together too, because when she finished, I finished, at the same time, So we interacted real well, but I never heard from her, and she never wrote me, and I never wrote her, so it went on from her. I think she was the 4th. The 5th was Rose, and like I said, I met Rose before, on New Year's at the club, and she was about from January to March, and we would have sex. The first time we did it, we went to the Navy Lodge, and we had sex up to 7 times a pop that night, and it lasted anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes or something like that. And she was a real energetic girl. And I would do some of the things I learned and different things with her, and she got on top of me sometimes. And then we went to another motel and stuff like that, and she started riding me, but I started getting a rash and stuff like that, so we just changed that to doing it in the missionary position. And then sometimes we'd go near Portsmouth, get a room near Portsmouth, which is where she lived. Though one time I felt like someone came into the room or something, and woke up in the middle of the night as we were staying at the Navy Lodge, and I thought someone came in, and I was acting a little, paranoid that someone came into the room or something, but she calmed me down and said no one did, and we fought again and stuff like that. So I don't know. Maybe it was a female that came in. I don't see another male letting another male fuck his woman unless, he got some in the middle too, but whatever. I don't know if it was a male or a female, but I felt like someone that came in the room was hiding in the bathroom or something. But what we did was we had sex again, and I went back to sleep, and whatever. She went back again. We did it again, and then had to leave, and that was probably a Saturday or a Friday or a Saturday night when that happened. Because we spent the night at the motel room, and that was around probably in January and stuff like that. And we dated till like March when I went overseas for the second time. And again, that's when I met Sheena, which was at Palma. And Sheena was a 3-day date with a 1-night stand. And then I started writing a bunch of letters and stuff like that and trying to communicate to her everything I was learning, and that I was one of the 2 witnesses and stuff like that. And she flaked out on me and broke up with me, and I was trying to, process all that. And then I heard her voice say Jerusalem, Jerusalem, Jerusalem 3 times, because I was thinking God where we could marry and stuff like that. And after Sheena, and I was trying to be faithful to her, but I kept getting the cold shoulder, so I just kept sort of writing her a little bit, not knowing what to do, because I wasn't sure she wasn't hormonal because she was pregnant or what the hell was going on. But I did stay physically away from her. I didn't physically stalk her. I just wrote her letters and trying to talk to her, tell her all kind of crazy theories, trying to protect her like Abraham would want to protect Sarah if she was kidnapped by the Pharaoh or something crazy like that. And I was more, a romantic based upon the Bible. And trying to, curse them with bulls or swords. Like when the Philistines took the Ark of the Covenant, well, they got bulls in their secret places or privates or the penises and vaginas. And the women in Egypt couldn't bear and stuff like that. So that's where I was coming up with some of the ideas of the curse and stuff like that. If someone was to rape us or force us to have sex and stuff like that. And that was to try and rationalize what I was learning about the Gnostic Gospels, which said Eve was raped in Eden and stuff like that. So I was also paranoid she would say I raped her or something. And, it was all going crazy for me and her at the time, because, again, my shipmates were trying to catch me doing something wrong and always set me up and weren't working with me and making me sort of isolated in division and only let me do the watches now. Now, they trained me about, 6 months to a year on the watch, and that's what they stuck me on after Lieutenant Guzman left. Now, when Lieutenant Guzman was running the division, he was trying to make me work. But the problem was they didn't want to work with me. And I didn't really know what was going on, and I didn't trust them. Now, it's hard to trust people if you get to the ship, and the first thing you see is one of your shipmates get electrocuted, and they're acting all crazy about it towards you. You were down there, but you had nothing to do with it, but they wouldn't work with you either. They didn't want to wake you up for muster and shit like that, and, no one wanted to look out for you, and once in a while, one time, really, First Class Petty Officer Acevedo, I don't remember his full name, but he woke me up one time, and I got up and stuff like that, and the rest of the time I was waking myself up just before muster, barely making it every day. But I made it. That's all I can say. I don't remember anything but doing the watches then and stuff like that. But then we got into another little skirmish during that time. And sometimes I got sick one night and was in the bathroom for a few hours because I had some kind of diarrhea or stomach bug or something. And I was sitting in the toilet, and they were wanting to do something with the 400 hertz generator. And I was in there about an hour because I was having some kind of stomach virus. And I went to the medical the next morning and told them I was feeling sick in the stomach area, and I was in the bathroom all night and stuff like that. And they gave me some medication for it. And then another time, like I said, they had me training other guys, but again, they hadn't trained me in over a year and hadn't used me wasn't trying to use me even until then. So here we were sitting up against the breakers, waiting for them to call or something in the other room. Well, we couldn't hear the phone ringing because of the earplugs in our ear and the 400 hertz generator, asshole. So we were just sitting there waiting for the call and couldn't hear anything. And then the king came down all bitchy and said I was asleep on Raj. No, we weren't. We were just resting and waiting for the call. And sometimes you rest with your eyes closed, sometimes you don't. And that's just bullshit, King. That showed me you never liked me, asshole. And that's on record, too. It's also on record that Lieutenant Guzman recorded your electrocution in his write-up of what happened. See, whenever someone's electrocuted, dumbass, the lieutenant has to write up a report on it, dumbass, in the Navy. And that's his job, and he was watching it all behind me. That's why you and your friend didn't see him down there when I was going up. And reason is he jumped into action to get someone down there to help you. Now, I ain't saying he didn't call, but he also went up there to, lead him down and stuff like that. And, he was more qualified and everything than I was anyway. He's a fucking lieutenant. And he knows what to do if you're electrocuted, King. I didn't know shit. And, hardly nothing from A school. And y'all damn sure didn't want to teach me anything after A school, asshole. Now, who do you think I hate most on that ship? You. Second is Ben, but you're the asshole of the year. After you were electrocuted. The only thing I can figure out is you were blaming me the whole time, but not man enough to confront me. And if you did, it was, during my sleep period. And what, were y'all torturing me or something? And I woke up every morning somehow? I mean, that's just hypothetical, but what the fuck? What the fuck? But whatever the hell was going on there, I knew you didn't like me. I knew no one on that ship liked me, and y'all were making me a black sheep. And same thing with Christian Fellowship Church. And first thing, Pastor Davis, met him in the hall after I told him I was one of the 2 minutes. He came up to me, hugged me, and put his hand between my butt. Well, that's how they test if you're gay. And I knew that too. And so I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? He said something, my friend gay. I didn't do anything. I just sort of stood there and ate your card. And so he let go, and I left the scene. Right. So anyway, and I knew I couldn't hit him because he's the pastor. You can't hit the general pastor of the church, and he hug you, and that's what they do. They look for a victim. And they want you to get hard. And I didn't get hard. Did I, Pastor Davis? Not that you're alive now, are you? You're dead. You died in prison, right, from that shit. Okay, you say so. Or your friend said so. Or your church says so. But I find it strange you were doing, preaching from jail for up to an hour a pop. Yeah, they let all their preachers preach from jail to their congregation, especially being arrested for pedophilia, lying ass motherfucker. Don't trust you or Pastor Thomas a day I can throw you, nor Peter Payne now. I know. He was somewhat tolerant of me during the, speaking in tongues incident with Pastor Thomas and stuff like that. And then Carl's girlfriend, I think, started liking me a little bit, and his fiance. And then I knew I couldn't stay out there because of that. And that was, I was trying to find a wife, but I knew it wasn't her because she was engaged to Carl, and I knew y'all, go batshit over that if she was to break up with Carl and be with me. I knew you didn't want that, so I had to let her go. And then I was with the girl from Ocean View, a prostitute named Tanya, a prostitute named Lisa, and then I was with Stephanie for about a month. I don't know. So I was with 4 different girls during that time, and that was from August to October. And I met Stephanie at the middle of September to October. We were having sex, and like I said, she squirted whatever she put in her out her pussy, not her ass, but her pussy. And she put in some kind of spermicide, and we were having sex. And I started doing some of the techniques the girl in Boston had taught me, which was to blow in the ear and make her, it makes you tingle, right? Well, she was tingled so hard, whatever was in her pussy shot out all over the bed. And then we had sex again after that. I don't know if I got her pregnant or anything, but that was a wild night. And I was talking to her about things being sealed and talking in tongues to her and stuff like that. And she had a little son, and one time we were driving in the car and he was picking on me, and I got a little mad, and I said, hey, no. I got a little mad, and then she said, no, you didn't. I said, well, he's your son. And we got a little argument of that, but again, we were together one more time, and then she just started to make me feel like I was forced in the relationship, or she wasn't really committed to it. So she wound it up, and I felt like I was sort of raping her, forcing her to be with me, and stuff like that. And then she broke up with me too, and she had just separated from her husband when she was with me and stuff like that. So whatever. And You know, she was a little bit cold. I was trying to, pleasure her with a little bit of oral, and she wasn't really responding. So I started using my teeth a little bit because she was like, cold fish. So that's why I was using my teeth on you a little bit, Stephanie. And then we did it against the wall one time or something, and we were just fooling around, and she was talking about, how sometimes it's better towards the end than the beginning and whatever, stuff like that, romantic stuff. But I think she was reminiscing more about her husband than me. Stuff like that, but whatever. And then that was the first night we were together, and then we were together about every, week or so, until she broke it off about 2 to 3 weeks. And after that, I was starting to feel paranoid about being on the ship and not meeting my wife or girlfriend, or mainly one night stands or short, relationships lasting maybe a month. And so then I was still trying to write Sheena a little bit, but it was more, standoffish and, trying to talk to her more rationally, which I still couldn't do because of the mental anguish I was going through. And then finally, went to Portsmouth and was put in the ward for 2 weeks around October, and around the middle of October. Was there from October to the end of it, and then they put me in med hold until I was discharged. Now they started me out as a copy boy. Part of my job was to shred the copied medical records, and the guy there said I didn't even seem like a Christian to him. I seemed sort of like, cold or something, like I wasn't really, a loving person, right? And he was like an E5 or an E6 or second or first class petty officer. And there was another woman there who worked with us, and she was African American. And then they put me in med boards to be a runner. And what the runner's job was, he would take out the different med boards and get the signatures whenever they were done, and both go all over the hospital and deliver med boards for the signatures of the doctors. And that was my job till I was discharged. And that's after that I met Daphne and stuff like that, and we had a 6-month relationship, and then that ended bad because she started getting a little bit crazy on me. And after that I broke up with her and divorced her, and as I was divorcing her, that's when I fell to 3 stories, and I met 3 more women after the fall. And then I went back to Portsmouth again after convalescent leave and all that. And then again I went from that to a lot of delivering the med boards again and stuff like that as far as work was concerned. I just considered it sort of like workman's comp, not that I was injured in battle, but injured off the clock, but still on base and after work, and but still in my work uniform, and 50-50 because I don't walk around the barracks naked, or even with a towel, and because I was also harassed by Ben that I was gay, so I didn't like hanging out with a bunch of I was going to the bathroom in my dungarees and had the towel and little bathroom pouch or whatever you want to call it, and was getting cleaned up, and I took $250 out the ATM and was going to get cleaned up. So anyway, as I was getting cleaned up, the key turned up missing. That's when I got locked out of the room. That's when I fell to 3 stories, and again, so on and so forth. That was after Daphne. And then after Daphne, that's when I was with the other 3, and then after the other 3, I was with Mary Bell. And then Mary Bell, I met Michelle, and right towards the end before I broke up with Mary Bell, and then I was with Michelle, and then Mary Bell within 24 hours of each other, and I broke up with Michelle first, and then 2 weeks later I broke up with Mary Bell around the 1st of October, and then after Mary Bell, I just never looked back. And I didn't have sex again until '98 with a girl named Denise, which was around let's say, October or November, somewhere in there. Maybe September, October, November, a year after I was with Maribel. And then I was with Denise, and then Molly came along up from California acting all crazy, and we were arguing about all kind of stuff, and I didn't know what the hell she was talking about. And one minute she was acting like she was a transgender person or a girl, and I didn't know what the hell was going on. And someone was accusing her of all this shit and having the mama brown and all that stuff. We were arguing about whether I was a pedophile and stuff like that for 12 years on YouTube. That's the point. And like I said, now, until then, I was just, doing things normally. Then I met Teresa after all that. And after Molly. And then I'll let Teresa move in with me. Though, again, Teresa was sleeping on the couch one day, and something happened with my watch. It broke, and then it mysteriously was fixed, but I don't remember who fixed it, right? But whatever happened, I was back, with the watch in my hand, and it was fixed. Thanks, things. Whatever you did, hope it wasn't nothing serious, but I survived that too. Whatever happened. Again, then after that, it started escalating from there again, so I finally decided to move out the 185A Smith Avenue and started trying to get me a house. But that also made me start spending more money. They put me on the Abilify, which was causing me all kind of problems. And I started spending more, taking out loans and stuff like that. Became sort of a shopaholic and buying shit I didn't really need. And I'm still sort of doing that because of the Abilify. It's not fully out of my system and caused me to develop carpal tunnel and stuff like that. Because I took karate for years, and they make you clench your fist real tight, as tight as you can. And because of the Abilify and having to break a board and stuff like that, different things like that, I broke the board on the second try. But again, my hands were feeling a little numb and starting to get number. And by the time I was deemed to get off the Abilify, they were starting to bring a lawsuit forward against it too, because certain people were having gambling problems and spending problems and stuff like that, and they started gambling more after they got on the drug. Well, there are no real casinos in Georgia. They have a ship casino, but you have to pay to get on the ship, and that's extra money. I'm just a disabled veteran on a fixed income. I couldn't do all that. Anyway. But what I was doing is I started going out to the strip club and stuff like that, and masturbating to girls online when I was dating Amanda. Now, first Amanda, I thought she was dating Mike. Then it turned out she's sort of like me, and I was trying to help her out, and I tried to give her my car, and that blew up. Then I had to take out a $12,000 loan, and that blew up. And then I had to file bankruptcy. So again. And again, we went on from there. And then I took the karate, and like I said, that's what's been going on with me the past, I remember. And of course, just recently, someone broke into my house and was vandalizing my property, and I blacked out there for about 5 minutes. And they also moved my keys. I don't know if it was during the middle of the night, but they moved it from the dresser over there to the coffee table in my, bedroom. And, I'm not sure. I started being paranoid that someone was breaking in anyway. And whoever it was had to have some kind of special key to even get in my room, because I locked the room too. That's when I started suspecting Thomas. He's the captain of the neighborhood watch. And I told him before that happened, someone was breaking in my house. And he's still not watching out for me. I locked the door again today before I left, and when I got back, again, it was unlocked. Suspicious, huh? Now, Thomas is a retired Air Force military person. And again, he ran for office against Tim, my ex-boss, and again, shit hit the fan with Tim too. And Tim charged me an extra charge and didn't tell me about it, nor did the other guys. But I guess they could say they did, but that's he said, she said, and 3 to 1. Again, like I said, the only problem I had was I was trying to do my job there and anywhere in between. Now, Tim did hire me without paying taxes, but that's the employer's job, not mine, And the other thing is, he's the one withholding the taxes from the government. And another thing is, because I'm disabled, I get a special work program. If I make under $10,000, I don't have to pay taxes. Reason is because I can only work part-time. I'm not full-time, And I was only working part-time for Tim, mainly the weekends, once in a while during the week if he needed someone a few hours during the day. But nothing illegal. And that's the point. It didn't get weird until the day the guy gave me a 20, and then Tim charged me like 28 total for the charge. Well, that was $8 more than I had. And then he only gave me $8 after that. So I felt cheated, right? Wouldn't you? And then I also went to the mental ward because I was having high blood pressure of 161, and I was worried about it, and it wouldn't go down either. So they put me in the mental ward at St. Joseph's. So anyway, that's what happened there. And I thought they were committing Munchausen by proxy, because when I went to Memorial with my first bout of congestive heart failure, back then my blood pressure was around 201 or so, 210, somewhere around there. And I blowed up like a fish, like a puffer fish. My legs and chest and everything. And I went from 243 pounds to 273 pounds within 5 days. But I survived that shit too. I just take a licking and keep on taking on it, and blacking out and waking up 5 minutes after, or a few minutes, and then someone broke my camera recently too, and shit like that, and I wake up and the shit's broken, and I sort of have a brief blackout point, and I was using the minigun, and I look over and it's broken, and wow. But whatever's happening, I'm obviously surviving. I just have memory problems from it. I don't remember the person coming in or leaving, but then I find my stuff broken or vandalized, and which either means severe hypnosis or some kind of physical attack where I don't remember the attack, and can't say the magnitude of the attack. It might just be as simple as knocking me over the head or something, and then coming, back to my own reality without remembering anything. Though even that will leave a, mark on your head, right? I didn't even have a mark on my head, so I don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm just blacking out uncharacteristically as well. I never blacked out in the Navy, or while in Portsmouth. I was doing my job every day. I went from E2, which King busted me on watch, like the asshole he was, so I blame Marceline. What else could I do? And her smoking pot around me. I don't know what to say. Like I said, King was out for me. Captain of the USS Saipan at that time. It wasn't your fault. He hated me because he got electrocuted when I got to the ship and blamed me. See, that's the point. I didn't know why the hell he was doing all that shit to me, but I knew he was the ringleader. And I knew he got electrocuted my first day on the job, which was an observe-only day. Now, of course, he don't want to talk about it publicly because he wants to hide why he attacked me or didn't like me. And I understand his resentment to a point, but he also never got my side of the thing unless he was torturing me the whole time, like I said. But if I didn't do something, even under torture, I would never admit it. Either. Like with them accusing me of my stepdaughter coming in there to me while I was sleeping on the couch. And whoever read that story didn't even read it right. For one, I said my ex-wife and stepdaughter were sleeping in the bedroom and I was sleeping on the couch, and I made a joke that I said I could have molested her but didn't, and that's a joke, asshole. Well, that means that since we were sleeping in different parts of the house, the only way I could have molested her is if she came in there to me. That's a joke, and it's not even about you. But what it was about was a show called Law and Order, which had come out on NBC shortly after I got on disability back in '99. And I was sort of watching that a little bit. That's it. And that's all I can fucking tell you, assholes. So anyway, I'll get to this a little later on, and I'll upload these videos. I'm sort of doing it away from the main computer, so I'm or from my internet, so I'll do that in a minute. But anyway, y'all have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye bye.